Broadcast Row for the Now generation. And now a special presentation from Broadcast Row. Broadcasting live from the greatest city in the world. Wake up. It's time, people, for your morning online gathering. Hosted by Mardel. It's the Wrestling Morning Show. And it starts now.
I want to thank St.Peter because Kevin Owens saw the light. He was about to enter the pearly gates of heaven, and St. Peter said to him, Kevin Owens, we'd love to have you here. Love to have you here in heaven. But you know what? The world needs you. It's not your time. And that was the highlight of a very uneventful SmackDown. Good morning, everybody. It's the Wrestling Morning Show. It's about 9:06 Eastern Standard Time. The number's 844-627-3352. It's 844-627-3352. We take your calls. That's also the text line. Follow us on the Live Morning Show on Twitter. And, of course, all information you need is on the WrestlingMorningShow.com. Good morning. How are you guys doing? You at work? On your way to work? On the go? At school? Maybe you're just home. A big hello to everybody in the West Coast who may be sleeping or just getting in right now. Welcome to the Wrestling Morning Show. We do this every Tuesday and Wednesday. But last night, SmackDown. Now, of course, this is the SmackDown after the pay-per-view, so what do we get? We usually get nothing, except for we all waited. We all waited 48 hours to hear what Sami Zayn was going to say. And, of course, we're going to refresh your memory. Some of you guys obviously already heard the show. You could fast forward this. We're going to play audio from last night, courtesy of the WWE, USA Network, and, of course, Universal. So thank them for the audio. Let's refresh in your memory as Kevin Owens is in the ring.
At Hell in a Cell, I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I sent Shane McMahon to hell. And now, Shane McMahon is gone, and he is never coming back. And you people should be counting your blessings, not just for that, but because on Sunday night, you almost lost me too. Because at one point during the match, I saw it. I was blinded by that white light you hear so much about. And I felt my soul start to separate from my body. And then I began to ascend. And it was such a bizarre feeling. It was like I was floating outside of my body, looking down at myself. And then all of a sudden, here I was standing in a long, long line at the pearly gates. And you know, I don't like standing in line very much, so I was pretty aggravated as I'm standing there trying to figure out a way to cut in front of everybody. I was waved to the front by St. Peter himself. That's right. You know what happened? As I stood there, St. Peter looked at me and said, Kevin, as much as we would all love to have you up here, they need you down on earth. They need Kevin Owens. And he even provided me with my very own guardian angel, Sami Zayn. And then as I returned down and re-entered my body, that's when I realized my new purpose. And that's to turn SmackDown Live into my very own personal paradise. And here we are, all gathered here tonight in Kevin's heaven. Or as I like to call it, the Kevin Owens Show. So without further ado, let me introduce to you my best friend and guardian, Angel Sami Zayn.
It's just Kevin Owens is awesome. He's awesome, but he's obviously on a show that he's got to drive the energy, man, and that's what a superstar does. And it comes down to also who he wrestles against, who he talks against. And that's something, of course, that he's a little bit tough on SmackDown. That's why he worked so well when he was on Raw. Better talent. He got to work with Chris Jericho. You fine-tune your skills. And I wish them the best. These are two guys who could talk in a mic. These are two guys that can wrestle. These are two guys that have known each other for 15 years. I'm excited about this. Let's listen to Sami Zayn.
I'm very anxious to hear this explanation.
Look, Kev,
Before you start, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but before you start, I think you need to explain to everybody that I had no idea you were going to come out on Sunday night at Hell in a Cell, that I have no idea you were going to do that, that I had no idea why you chose to pull me away from certain destruction. You need to explain that to these people, but before you do so, I need to tell you from the bottom of my heart, Sami, thank you.
Listen, hey, I'll explain everything, but it's funny that you're thanking me because actually you powerbombing me on the apron a few weeks ago is what started opening my eyes to everything. You see, my whole life has been spent trying to please people. My whole career has been about pleasing all these people. No, and I tried to be the good guy and do everything the right way and put all your hopes and dreams and your morals and your beliefs and your ideals and your values, and I put it all on my shoulder, and I embarked on a long, arduous journey, and it brought me all the way to mediocrity. It brought me to mediocrity. Meanwhile, Kevin Owens, my counterpart, became the Intercontinental Champion. He became the Universal Champion. He became the United States Champion. But that's okay because I get to sleep at night. Yeah, I get to sleep at night with a clear conscience, and if I keep doing things the right way, maybe in 4 or 5 years, my time will come. And I genuinely thought that my time had come when Shane McMahon invited me, gave me the opportunity to come to the land of opportunity, SmackDown Live. Oh, and did he put on a show for me. He told me everything that I wanted to hear about how Raw had been mistreating me and misusing me, which was true, mind you. But how SmackDown Live would give me the opportunity and the respect that I deserved. Well, that was the last meeting I ever had with Shane McMahon. But it's okay, you know how people get busy and birthdays and you had that whole helicopter thing and, you know, it's fine, I get it. I'll just keep coming every week with a smile on my face. And I did that week in and week out until a couple of weeks ago, when I saw Shane McMahon in the hallway, and I tried to warn him about what Kevin Owens is capable of. And I think we all saw what Kevin Owens is capable of at Hell in a Cell. Yeah. I tried to warn him, and he brushed me off. He brushed me off. He ignored me. He said, Sammy, you know, you worry about you, and I'll worry about me. And that's really when I realized that Shane McMahon never cared about me. He never really cared about me. He never really wanted me to get an opportunity. So cut to Hell in a Cell. Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens inside the Hell in a Cell. I'm watching the match with bated breath, just like every one of you. And honest to goodness, just like every one of you, I wanted Shane McMahon to win. I did. And when Shane McMahon knocked Kevin Owens off the Hell in a Cell structure to the announce table below, he had that match won. I'm sorry, buddy, he had you beat. But then he turned around and he started to climb all the way back up to the top of the cell. Now, let me tell you something. Kevin Owens has been a lot of things to me over the years. He's been my best friend. He's been my bitter rival. He's been everything in between. But the one thing he's always been and will always be is my brother. When I saw Shane McMahon up there, I knew he didn't just not care about me. He didn't care about you either. He didn't care about anything but himself. He didn't care about avenging the McMahon name. He just wanted to end your career or worse. And so I saved my brother because it was the right thing to do. I saved my brother because Shane McMahon had become an absolute psychopath. And Kevin, for the longest time, I thought I despised you. Now I realize I just despise the fact you were right. Now I don't think there's much left to say other than thank you.
And a major hug. That was awesome. I enjoyed it. We're going to talk about that. That's kind of one of the majority of things we're going to discuss in this first hour here on the Wrestling Morning Show. The number's 844-627-3352. We do this every Tuesday, Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern. I want to give a shout out to everybody on Twitter. Everybody I met in the last couple of days. It's been 3 full days of wrestling. You know what? And bring on more. That's fine. I'll tell you what. I got somebody on the line who is an enormous Kevin Owens fan. And he's actually calling in bright and early this morning, and I appreciate that. It's time once again.
It's the Code Break with Brent Coder.
Good morning, Mr. Coder. How are you?
What's up, Mardel? How are you doing this morning?
I am doing well. You're listening to the Code Break right here at the Wrestling Morning Show. It's 844-627-3352. It's our first segment, and we got Coder here for the Code Break. Follow him at Code Rock 874. That's Code Rock 874. I tell you what, today was a very special day for you because you are an enormous Kevin Owens fan since day one-ish. The highlight of SmackDown, the only reason to watch SmackDown tonight, Kevin's Heaven. Tell me that was not one of the best promos you've heard by him ever.
I mean, I absolutely loved it, brother. It was incredible. I mean, the whole thing, button in front of everybody at the gates and, Sammy as his guardian angel. I just loved every bit of this. I mean, it was classic Kevin Owens and just an incredible promo tonight. Sammy was pretty good too. And man, I was excited to see these two together after the pay-per-view, but now I'm super hyped, man. This is going to be dope. Just love these two guys, and they're going to be great together. And it really showed tonight. I mean, Kevin was just he was on fire like never before. And man, as a fan, I just loved every minute of it.
I just didn't want it to end. It was brilliant. Now, I tell you what, going in to today, even last night, when we watched, or 2 nights ago when we watched Monday Night Raw, the only thing I can think about, what is Sami going to say? And I even tweeted it out where I was hoping this wasn't like a mistake or a confused Sami, but more of an angry Sami, a determined Sami. And we kind of saw him that today, and he pretty much was shooting the truth, really. Telling the truth. Listen, I've done it the good way, the right way. I could sleep at night, but what has that gotten me? And I see my best friend, and he's been a heavyweight champion, a U.S. champion, and he's been one of the top guys because he's done it that way. And I loved it. I think it was short and sweet, and more importantly, it kept us guessing what is going to go on with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I think this could be kind of like another scenario with Chris Jericho. I think this could be a scenario where these two, obviously, they know each other. It's 15 years they have known each other, and it's just a positive situation moving forward. And more importantly, it's going to take Kevin Owens to another level, because anytime he's actually on the mic with somebody, either sparring against them or on the same side, it takes Kevin Owens to that top guy level. And of course, if he's going to tag team, I know a bunch now with Sami Zayn, and these guys know each other. They know each other better than they know themselves. So I'm just really excited. Let's play around right now. What do you think we'll see happen, say, in the next couple months between these two?
I'd love to see them go on a run where, they are running the show pretty much, and, are in part of the main storyline, whether that's Kevin going for a title or him pushing Sami for a title, but having each other's backs, very similar to, Jericho, as you described. I think that would be fun for these two. They know each other very well. They're going to be able to play off each other very well. They spent so much time on the road together and in the ring together. We'll see some mixed tag matches with other teams, but I think it'd be cool to see Kevin in his corner during his matches and pushing Sami to a title. Looking forward to, all the promos that they're going to provide us with over the next couple months are going to be, just like tonight. These guys just know each other so well. It should be extremely entertaining. I think Kevin's had a hell of a run. It would be good for him to, still be a part of the main storyline, but maybe take just a baby step back and actually, help Sami to the next level and actually win a title. And I think that would actually help Kevin as well, for being in his corner and being a guy that had his back, much like he did for Jericho. So there's a lot of different ways that this could play out. I'd like to see him be, less comical maybe than Jericho and he were, although that was entertaining. I'd like to see a little bit more of a maniacal side of both these guys, where we actually get to see a change in Sami. An evil side of Sami Zayn would be great, where he's this vicious, maniacal, heel moving forward, where they're attacking people much like the Shield did on Raw the other night. I think that type of scenario could be a much needed and maybe fresh change for a guy like Sami.
It also brings up another element. At some point, we're going to see the return of Jericho. We just know it. So from what I understand, his summer concert tours, they've ended, and it's going to be, and of course, he's going to spend some time with the family. As his kids get older, he gets older, we're going to see Jericho again. Now, if Jericho comes back as a full-blown face, and not so much go up against Kevin Owens, per se, for retribution, but now start to put Sami Zayn in this situation, that would be, I think, awesome. When you go against somebody on the microphone, in the ring, who performs at a high level at both, you just become better. And Sami really has not had any opportunities for that whatsoever. He did have a feud, of course, with Kevin Owens.
I love where you're going with this, man. I think that, for all the reasons you're saying here, this would really help Sammy if Jericho were to come back and somehow end up in a feud with him. I could see Jericho coming back and being upset that he's been replaced as, Kevin Owens' best friend. And some kind of animosity there with Sammy for, trying to take his spot or his spotlight or try and take his best friend. I mean, the three of them would just be phenomenally entertaining. I love where you're going with that. I didn't really think of Jericho coming back so soon, but man, that would be cool to see over the next couple months if he entered the picture.
Well, I really don't think if Jericho came back, he would be to align with these guys. Hopefully he'd come back as a face, kind of trying to warn Sami Zayn about Kevin Owens and all that stuff. And that would just be great for Sami. Now let's play your theory. Say they're all in line, all three of them. I mean, Survivor Series is a little over a month. I would love to see a Shield versus these three guys, but of course, this is delusional talk right now. So if you're listening to the program, it's early in the morning. It's a little bit of a delusional talk as we talk about it, but there's so many endless opportunities, and finally Sami could get the run, usually when there is a duo or a trio, but right now we'll just play it like a duo. KO goes for one title. Sami goes for another title, maybe a tag team title. Maybe they race some sort of havoc. Who knows? Anyway, I'm so happy for Sami Zayn. The guy, he's phenomenal on that microphone. And really, it's so hard to play a face. I mean, we love AJ Styles. It's just not the same AJ Styles. It's so tough to be a face. And then, of course, you get criticized for being the same and being boring. And, of course, that's John Cena's problem for the last 10 years or so. It's so hard to be a face. So this is going to be nice. It's going to be an unbelievable opportunity for Sami Zayn. The best part of SmackDown. I'm so happy that happened. Now, having said that, let's talk about the rest of SmackDown, which really, what do we get? We talk about it all the time. We make fun of it all the time. After a pay-per-view, it's mostly rematches and really just nothing. And that's kind of what happened. We did have a rematch, though, for the United States title with AJ and Corbin. I didn't think there was a chance in hell for AJ to win this. Corbin lands the end of days and pins AJ clean. And I'm hoping this feud is over. This opens up AJ now to go after somebody like a Jinder and start facing other people. There's no reason maybe Corbin now could start facing some of these mid-carders, which he should. So there you go. That's my take on the Corbin. Also, Corbin's been using the microphone a little bit more. He's actually making sense. I get the character now. I'm glad he won it. Okay, so I'm a firm believer you chase the heel as the champion. And I think this is going to help out so many mid-carders who are just lost in the shuffle. So, you think this feud is over between AJ and Corbin, or are they going to try to squeeze out one more pay-per-view?
I think it might be over. I was really surprised to see Corbin go over clean, like that at the end there. I felt like they threw in Ty on the pay-per-view to take the pin. So I was really surprised to see that last night. But I think it's time for him to move on. I'd like to see AJ in another feud for the actual title. Maybe somehow, they're both heels. But, I mean, if there's a way that it could work out, it'd be great to see him with Jinder. But not really sure what he moves on to. We had a tease a few months ago of him and Nakamura. So I don't know where he goes from here, but I think it's time to move on. I think we'll see Ty Dillinger probably get a shot next week, one-on-one with Corbin, something like that, and maybe they go into a feud for a bit. I think that would make sense for that title, and as a first opponent for Corbin. So a lot of different scenarios, but I think it's time to put that one to rest and let AJ move on.
I would agree. It just opens up opportunities for other mid-carders. It also takes Corbin to another level, starts facing other people. Let's see what he can do. And, of course, AJ Styles. It frees him up to pretty much do whatever he needs to do and pretty much whatever he wants to do. I'm starting to think now, first and foremost, the Maharaja was not on the program last night. And I tell you what, I missed him. I missed him a little bit. I missed the entire character of the Maharaja, the Singh brothers, everything about it. And of course, those always granted cringeworthy moments you get when he's trying to cut a promo. But then it also hit me too. First of all, he's got a lot of responsibilities. I mean, he literally has the best interests of 1.3 billion people. So, having said that, I'm going to make a statement right now. This could be a shocking statement. You could agree with this. You could disagree with this. I think Jinder Mahal will go into WrestleMania as the WWE champion.
Wow, dude. You are,
Can I explain?
I mean, I've seen, yeah, go ahead.
Allow me to explain. I think everybody is expecting Brock to be in the main event or the mini-main. And I think the only person who they probably have in line for that, unfortunately, would be Roman Reigns. The Shield thing, that's going to be over after the first of the year. That's what I believe. Just throwing out loud. Once again, if you're listening to the program, wrestling is subjective. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Now, if you have your opinion on this, please call in 844-627-3352. Or you could text if you don't feel like speaking. Brock Lesnar will be in the main event at WrestleMania. I think he's going to face Roman Reigns. If he doesn't face Roman Reigns, I do believe he could possibly face Finn Balor. Having said that, the winner of the Royal Rumble, which will be a collection of SmackDown and Raw, that winner will go on to face Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship. Couple of people I have in mind. AJ Styles. John Cena. Those would be the two face frontrunners that I can think of right now. I think the Shinsuke aspect is over, and I could be wrong, but that is why I believe Jinder continues. More importantly, I don't know if it makes sense to put the strap on another heel. No. How many faces do we really have right now? We don't have a lot. Kevin Owens, he's the top guy right now. He's the heel. AJ Styles, the top guy. The face. I could see those two maybe wrestling. Somehow Jinder drops it in the meantime. But that is my theory. So, Coder, I will be vulnerable. I will let you give your opinion on this bold statement I just made.
Well, I just think that's a long stretch, man. I think there's so many different things that could happen before then. And I just don't feel like he has the name to be on the top of a card like WrestleMania or the WWE Championship, the top belt in the industry.
Okay.
To go on.
Let me stop you.
Him on the marquee. I know you're saying he could be main or
mini main.
Maybe there's a bigger match. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that it could be a mini main. We've seen this done before, where necessarily it's more about the star power closes the show, and then of course somebody like a Jinder, he comes on to begin maybe the second or third hour, and there you go. I think no matter what, the biggest star power will close the show. And they've also done some other gimmick matches where obviously there may be not a title on line. Maybe the Undertaker is involved. Maybe it's Roman and Taker. Maybe it's Cena and Taker. Maybe they close the show. Maybe it's Brock and somebody. I don't think Jinder's going to close the show. It's not. And if he does close the show, the only thing I could think of is that they make an enormous publicity aspect about Cena chasing 17. That's the only thing that would make sense to have Jinder close the show. That's my opinion right there. There is nobody right now. It does not make sense. Chase Jinder. Chase the heel, and the biggest payoff will come at WrestleMania. So go ahead. I cut you off. I apologize. So you're telling me I'm making no sense that Jinder could possibly have this from now until the first week in April?
Look, man, I mean, it's not that it doesn't make any sense. It certainly could happen in a scenario like Cena winning his 17th. I mean, you know, we talked about that potentially being the match that we would see at SummerSlam. So I think, you know, if Jinder is to hold on to it, that could be a likely match. And like you're saying, it could be on the undercard. I just think it, you know, first of all, it's a long stretch. That's a ways away, and a lot of things could happen. And it really depends on how well Jinder does, how well his character evolves, how much people care or still hate him 3 months from now. So, you know, they could shift gears at any point. That may be the plan right now, is to have him hold it and face Cena or something like that at WrestleMania. I just don't think it's likely due to the time involved. We're a ways out, and he was an unexpected champion to begin with. And like I said, just doesn't have the star power, I think, behind the belt, whether that's a mini main or a smaller match even, to have it at WrestleMania. That is the biggest belt to chase. And, you know, maybe by then he's built up and maintains the heat that he's got to potentially pull it off. And it certainly could be the plan. I just don't think it's likely. You know, I can see Kevin Owens in that match. I can see AJ in that match. But I'm just not seeing him. If we get Jericho back, I mean, he could be involved in some way. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I just think it's a very long stretch where any number of things could happen. But, you know, hey, I'll give it up to you, man. Making the call this early. I'm going to hold you up to it, too. You know, I'm on the show every week, so I'm going to remind you, you know, when things aren't looking good.
Yes, write down the October 11th show. The October 11th show, where I made this statement. Okay, so let's move on to a couple other things. Because, you know, getting back to what I just said about Jinder, there's just... I think you think of the top people who could possibly win this title. Kevin Owens, AJ Styles. That's it. On the SmackDown Brad. Okay, maybe Shinsuke. Are we really going to do this one more time with Shinsuke Nakamura? You know they're going to do it, without a doubt. Now, they got Starrcade coming up, and they also got, the week before that, they got Survivor Series. Maybe some titles will be on the line. Maybe it will be a situation where it's Raw versus SmackDown. Maybe it's groups that are involved. Maybe it's a true Survivor Series. Don't know. All right, let's move on to a couple things. Go ahead.
I think there's a couple other guys that could be in line for a title by WrestleMania. A guy like, you know, Rude, a guy like Bobby Roode could certainly, you know, over the course of the next 5 or 6 months, develop into a top tier performer where he could be in line for a championship or even hold the belt by then. You know, he has, you know, thus far he's been sort of underutilized, and he's, you know, recently in this feud with Ziggler, but maybe it's one of those guys that potentially is, you know, they've got to build other stars on the brain. So I don't expect it to just be AJ and KO and maybe Nakamura in the mix by then. I really think, you know, they're going to really, I mean, they've put a lot of work into this, you know, Ziggler's new character development. They've obviously put some work into Bobby Roode thus far. You know, a little less than expected, but I think that either one of those guys could rise to a main event level, certainly by the time WrestleMania comes around.
No, and you're right. That was just one scenario. Let me ask you a question. Is Brock Lesnar going to have the Universal Championship going into WrestleMania?
Wow. You know, again, it's a hell of a stretch. I feel like we're pretty far away. certainly it's a possibility with a guy like Brock to hold on to it till then. But I'm going to go with no for now. I just think there's too many other scenarios that could play out. I think, too many top stars on Raw where eventually, he drops it before WrestleMania.
I could see that possibly happening. Absolutely. I always figured this would be the next cherry on top for Roman Reigns. Finally, one-on-one, him and Brock. Having said that, I could also see now Raw is obviously loaded with top talent. That's why I think the main reason I'm saying this, regardless if it's Brock Lesnar, which I believe it could be, you have a couple top guys that can have a storyline going in to WrestleMania. Where at SmackDown, it doesn't matter if you're from the Raw brand or if you're from SmackDown or even NXT or 205, you'll be in the Royal Rumble. And that winner will take on who I believe will be Jinder Mahal at WrestleMania. And he won't be the main event. He'll be the mini-main. A couple things just to talk about SmackDown because it was just uneventful. Did you notice Bobby Roode kind of having a Roman moment and kind of forgetting a promo? Did you notice that at all today?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He ended up holding it together. I thought he did a nice job of recovering, but he certainly stumbled over his words there when he first started his promo.
Yeah, and Ziggler, even though he's a full-blown heel right now, he could have blasted him completely out of the water, but he didn't. And he was a pro, and he's actually trying to get him back on track. I like this feud. I did not like their match. I was so excited. That was the one match. It was my guilty pleasure match going in on Sunday, and it was kind of but you kind of establish that, okay, this is their first match. We're going to probably see 3 of these between these two men, and I'm hoping and praying that the next match is a very good one and compelling because these guys could actually wrestle. Okay, we'll go from the top of the show where the Usos come out and pretty much show respect to New Day. Kofi's banged up, maybe a while before he gets back into the action. So New Day, I believe, takes a back seat, or at least Kofi, and then we'll still see Xavier, we'll still see Big E, and they'll take on some other guys, because anytime you wrestle in New Day, it's high profile regardless. And I love what the Usos are doing. They actually got a lot of love from Grand Rapids, Michigan last night. So we saw Hype Bros come out, then Gable and Shelton, Breezango, Ascension, and a lot of love for Breezango. By the way, weren't they supposed to be doing a Pulp Fiction Fashion Files edition, which never happened, by the way? Please let Zack Ryder turn heel. It's starting to get annoying. But Gable and Shelton, there you go. I think they're calling it, are they calling Gable and Benjamin or Benjamin and Gable? Regardless, we know what we're talking about here, I guess. You think this is going to be a feud now? I mean, is this simply just to showcase Gable? And this entire thing has to be showcasing Gable. And I would figure at some point Shelton has a solo run in him, which I was pretty shocked he was aligned with Gable. Do you have any thoughts about the Usos, New Day, or the tag team division right now currently on SmackDown?
Well, I think it's time. The time has come, for this feud to end for now. Hopefully we'll see more of it in the future, but it's certainly been epic between the Usos and the New Day. One of the greatest, I think maybe tag team feuds that there's been certainly in a long time, with some very memorable matches. Almost every one of their matches has been exceptional, on a pay-per-view level. And we had the rap battle, and we've had great promos along the way, but it was time for that to come to an end, and I'm looking forward to seeing some fresh competitors for the title. I really thought it was going to be Breezango. They got a huge pop last night, and so that was cool to see them actually, back in the ring and back in the mix of the storyline to a certain degree. Quickly, it was very short-lived, but good for Gable and Benjamin. I think we're going to see them together for a while before they actually split. I think this is a great chance for Gable to learn a lot from Benjamin, obviously, who's been around for some time. But eventually, they'll run their course. maybe they have a title run in them, and I think they'll see what the chemistry looks like between these two teams, and if it's good, then we'll see a back and forth with Benjamin and Gable and the Usos for the next couple months. Certainly deserving. I think both, obviously Benjamin's super talented, and I think Gable's come a long way in a short period of time, and obviously have to make a big adjustment now with a new partner. But they look great together. Good teamwork in the ring. Need to see a little bit more mic work from the two of them, and sort of really honing in on gimmick. But as far as their in-ring ability, they're certainly at the top of the division. So looking forward to this to potentially be an extended feud.
Yeah, I'm hoping, that is the case for this. And not only that, it's just going to make the Usos better wrestling with two really good wrestlers who have no charisma whatsoever. But there's a lot of love for Shelton Benjamin right now. And curious where the New Day goes from here. What I do know, we did mention Survivor Series. That's an all-branded pay-per-view. And then we go to Starrcade, which is a SmackDown only. For some of the listeners out there who have no idea what Starrcade is, it is legendary, historic, and some of the greatest of all time have participated. This was an NWA Jim Crockett promotion. The first one took place in 1983. It was titled A Flair for the Gold. It was Harley Race versus Ric Flair. And they had some other great matches back-to-back with Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair versus Nikita Koloff. Ric Flair pretty much headlined the first 5 or 6 years. One of my all-time favorite ones was Ronnie Garvin versus Ric Flair. That was phenomenal. That was in Chicago. I remember, even though I'm not old enough to remember 1987, again, it's a lie, that's one of my favorite matches of all time. And Flair, I think, headlined 7 of these in the first 8 or 9 years. So go back, try to find some Starrcade, either on the network or on YouTube. It's historic. There's also a fake card out there on Wikipedia. There's no way I'm buying into it because they already have the matches lined up. That makes absolutely no sense. They've included Mikey Bennett in one of these matches, so there's no way. And that's going to be a little historic. There's also some controversy that right now none of the Rhodes brothers would be in this, and this is actually created by Dusty Rhodes. But having said that, this is actually going to be a very interesting pay-per-view because it's going to be the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and 1 week, literally 6 days after Survivor Series. I'm mentioning this because kind of thinking about what we talked about earlier, I guess anything could happen with Jinder from now until Mania, but I'm going to stick to my guns with that. I know it was uneventful for SmackDown. Is there anything else that stood out to you that we should even talk about right now, Coder?
Not really, man. I mean, the highlight for me, and I watched it a couple different times now, was Kevin Owens by far tonight. Less than stellar show for sure. We had I guess we could talk about Rusev and what's become of him to now be in this mixed tag team. With it's not looking good for Rusev Day. Just not been on a good run since he got back, and I'm not sure what they're doing with him. Why isn't he a guy that's at the top of the card? Or he even has potential, and we've seen it recently, and you've talked about it. He's a pretty funny guy.
Oh yeah,
funny.
yeah.
We had a Rusev #1. I mean, if they're not going to do anything with him as a heel, let's give him a chance to build another face on SmackDown. I think he could pull it off. He has the right sense of humor that could really put him over. And, we saw a spark of that with the whole Rusev #1 when the crowd started chanting it just a couple weeks ago. But, man, his matches have just been flat. Storylines have been flatter. And really surprised that they've done little to nothing with Rusev since his return.
It's a shame. I mean, you remember when he first came up, he never lost. Just never lost. And he was just this beast. it's getting frustrating. And some of his losses have been, as you know, kind of embarrassing. I mean, there have been a lot of squash matches for Mr. Rusev. I mean, I'm still a fan of him and Lana together. But now everybody knows that they're married, they're in love. It's just, it's trying to protect a little ounce of kayfabe. Now, let me ask you a question. How much kayfabe is still left from a scale of 1 to 100? My answer is 1. What's your answer? Do you take the over or the even?
I mean, there's not much. There's not much, but, there's a little bit here and there. It's pretty much dead. I mean, I think Triple H called it right a few years ago. It's been dead for a while, but
right.
There's still a little bit here.
Little ounce. All right, it's that time, Coder, once again, where I ask you the Twitter poll questions. You give me your answer, or you tell me what the world has voted on. These questions came about last night during SmackDown. So this is the first one. There's not a lot of traffic on SmackDown early on. We know their history together. How do you feel about the future pairing of Sami and Kevin Owens? Great. Excited for the future. On the level of KO and Y2J. Unique from past duos. Not feeling it at all. I know your views. What do you think the world said?
Man. I don't know what the world would say. I think probably in line with Y2J, but I'm excited all the way.
The polls are still going on, but right now, 38%. Great. Excited for the future. 31% on the level of KO and Y2J. 18% not feeling it at all. And 13% unique from past duos. All right, we're going to move on to the next Twitter poll question. Unfortunately, typical pace show after a pay-per-view. Curious, what has been your favorite moment after 3 days of wrestling? Your options: Sami heel turn, saving Kevin Owens, the Shield reunion, New Day vs. Usos and Hell in a Cell, or the end of the Enzo era. First of all, what has been your highlight?
Well, my personal highlight is definitely Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn connection. We've talked extensively about that, but, all the way there. Second would be probably the Usos. I'm not a huge Shield fan. I know a lot of people are excited about that. I'm going to go with the Shield being what America would choose, or I guess the world would choose, actually.
Yes, because we do have some UK fans out there. And also a resurgence of popularity in Guatemala, by the way. So big shout out to all my Guatemalan friends. Okay, 40. You laugh, but I know I have at least 3 listeners out there. 48%, you'd be surprised. Sami's heel turn and saving Kevin Owens. 30% the Shield reunion. 13% end of Enzo era. And 9% New Day vs. Usos and Hell in a Cell. Okay. Here's one I think you will enjoy. Did you miss Jinder tonight? Like a little, maybe? Be honest. Your options are yes, no, best part, he was gone. I've grown to love him. Those are your 4 options. What do you think the world said? And what do you think?
No, I didn't necessarily miss him. I was wondering kind of where he was at. I think I missed the title and the storyline behind the title. I like when champions are on weekly, so I missed that part of it, but I didn't necessarily miss Jinder. And I'm going to think, I'm going to go with the world saying they didn't miss him either.
Well, 46% said best part, he was gone. 34%, no. 11%, yes. 9%, I've grown to love him. So if you would add those haters, you're looking at almost 80%. Actually, 80% exactly. Ouch. After 3 full days of wrestling, who gave the best promo of the week? Mickie James, Kevin Owens, The Miz, or Enzo? I know what you're going to say. So what do you think the world has voted on? By the way, ladies and gentlemen, these polls will be open for at least a couple days. So you could chime in. Who gave the best promo? What do you think the world would say?
I think the world would probably go with what I would say, which is Kevin Owens.
You are correct. 35% Kevin Owens, 29% The Miz, and tied for 18% Mickie James and Enzo. By the way, Mickie James gave a great promo, so I really enjoyed that. It's been a while since we could really kind of get behind a female who gives a great promo, because there is a shortage of that. You know, and obviously with people like Charlotte who are strong on the mic, she's obviously a face. We don't get those type of promos from her anymore. Alexa Bliss is just pound for pound the very best female, I think, on both brands right now. But Mickie James is great. I love the storyline, what they're doing, the old woman versus the young girl. Everybody could relate to somebody in that type of situation where there's the young upstart and the crafty veteran, in any type of situation, social setting, at work, stuff like that. Oh, we just got another vote right there. And I think they voted for Mickie James. Very nice. Interesting. So Coder, all in all, I thought it was a pretty positive week. You know, we had 3 shows together. Hell in a Cell, Raw, and SmackDown. And, you know, I think we'll take away a couple things. One, the love for the Shield all over the internet. And in the snap of a finger, they kind of forgot to boo Roman Reigns toward the end. And more importantly, I mean, for me, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Hell in a Cell, the promo tonight, that's what I'll take away from the week. I mean, just anytime somebody could give a brilliant promo, because I'm a firm believer that, yes, the crowd will love you and give you that love and that reaction inside the ring when you wrestle. But nothing can top an unbelievable promo on a microphone. There's nothing like it. So that's what I'm taking away from this week of 3 days of wrestling. What about you?
Well, it's been a hell of a run. We've gotten to see some great matches, some big storylines develop. Obviously, with the Shield returning, you know, we got 2 Hell in a Cell matches that were both great. Great match out of the Usos and New Day to end their feud, and obviously Kevin Owens and Shane O'Mac we knew was going to be special, and they delivered. Some pretty good promos along the week, and you know, the shows overall were just decent, but they certainly had their moments. But man, I'm almost wrestled out. It's been a week. There's been a lot of wrestling the last few days, which is great.
All right, well, yeah, I mean, you're right, Coder. I mean, a lot of great matches that took place, and it was definitely memorable. But Kevin Owens, obviously, we'll give that game ball to him, and of course, the Shield reunion. Coder, I thank you very much for being on the show today. It's been a long couple days, so thank you very much for finding time this morning to be on the program, Coder. Thank you so much.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you next week.
It's the Code Break with Brent Coder.
All right, that was Brent Coder for the Code Break. Follow him at CodeRock874. And, of course, his website, CodeRockStreetwear.com. You can find some unbelievable original apparel on that site. It's always great talking to Coder. I want to let you guys know, as soon as the show goes off the air, we edit the show. We take out the commercials. We take out the long, dragging parts. There's not a lot of those. We make sure to kind of try to compact it to about a good 70 minutes, maybe longer. And it's on demand. It's on demand on iTunes, Google Play, Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, everywhere. If you don't have any of these apps, that's fine. You could go to thewrestlingmorningshow.com. All information about this show is on there. And if it's your first time listening, first of all, thank you very much. Second of all, we do this every Tuesday and Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern. And more as we continue to grow, and that's thanks to you, we'll have more special shows coming up. Of course, you can always follow us at Live Morning Show on Twitter. And we are a very heavy force, pretty much for a good 6 hours every Monday and Tuesday, as we live tweet during Raw and SmackDown. And those tweets are done by me, Mardel, your host. Who else you think was doing that? Of course, it's me. Well, we're going to take a small little break right now. Our breaks are not very long. Appreciate to have them, as a matter of fact. We get back, we're going to kind of finalize SmackDown, talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. We're going to foreshadow for next week. It's the Wrestling Morning Show. This is Mardel. We'll be right back.
Live on Broadcast Row, it's the Wrestling Morning Show. The Wrestling Morning Show with Mardel. Live on Broadcast Row. The Wrestling Morning Show with Mardel. Live on Broadcast Row.
Okay, so we're back on the program. The number is 844-627-3352. I want to thank Coder. He was on our last segment that we had. It's Code Rock 874. Or visit his website, CodeRockStreetwear.com, and find some unbelievable apparel on there. Coder's not a sponsor of the show. Of course, he's more like a co-host. But you got to check out his site. It's unbelievable. Okay, so one moment last night that I really enjoyed, and I mentioned this early in the program. Of course, we have the Usos and the New Day inside the ring, and it was a matter of respect and almost saying, this feud is kind of over. Let's refresh your memory. Usos, New Day in the ring, SmackDown last night.
Sunday night, two of the best tag teams in WWE went to war. Hey, we made history that night. Yeah. Compared to us, compared to this right here, the other tag teams in the back suck. I wouldn't say suck, but I mean, we are the best. You're right. True that. Hey, Hell in a Cell, it was exactly what it was, Oos. Hell in a Cell.
I mean, come on. That was our first time ever in Hell in a Cell. And let me tell you, when that cage came down and we stepped inside that cell, it got real nasty. It got real vicious. I mean, we brought out kendo sticks.
I was swinging for the fences.
We brought out handcuffs.
I didn't want you to move.
We brought out chairs.
Man, I was trying to break everything.
I mean, Woods, you brought out a cowbell.
You gonged me. You gonged me, bruh.
But you know what, Oos? What the WWE Universe knows for a fact, that every time the Usos and the New Day step right in the middle of this very ring.
Hey, it's Clash of the Titans. Ali versus Frazier. Hey, we make it hard to follow. You understand me?
You hear that, Oos? You see, but what they don't know, what the WWE Universe have no idea about, is after that show, when that cell went up and these lights went off, they didn't see us driving to the next town. Nah, they didn't see us with the ice pack over my brother's face because he can't see.
Hey, they didn't see my brother driving with one arm because his shoulder busted up.
Nah, they didn't see us pulling up to the hotel, going up to the front desk, going up to that lady to check in, and she says, "Excuse me, are you two gonna be okay?"
Hey, they don't see our families calling us saying, "Daddy, husband, whatever, are you okay? Is everything fine?" And what do? What do we say to comfort them? Yeah, Daddy's fine. Everything is okay. And after all that, I say my prayers, I lay my head to my pillow, I close my eyes, and then it hits me, Oos.
There is nobody else on this earth that is possibly going through and feeling broken, feeling battered. Nobody can understand what the Usos are going through other than you three. So after all we put each other through, after beating the hell out of each other,
we belong here. My brothers, we are the tag division, and we run this tag division.
Did we knock a screw loose?
Are you calling for a truce? Oos?
Something like a oos truce?
Man, look, see, what we're trying to say is this. Respect.
And that's kind of, we'll relieve that. Obviously, now this is when all the other tag teams come out, and we know that that first match, as we saw all the other tag teams come out and kind of want to have their moment. Hype Bros, though, came out, and Mojo, getting a lot better on that microphone, pretty much says, it's not really fair. It's not a fair landscape here. You two are always the guys who are in every single main event when it comes with the tag teams. And he got a little bit of a reaction for that. Still waiting for Zach to turn heel. I like this Mojo. I really do. At first, I thought it was, oh my God, it was cringeworthy. His demeanor now has changed. His character now is more thought out. And I enjoy Mojo. Maybe they both turn heel. I hate that, though. If you ever listen to the show, I hate that. Turn them heel. Sammy. Great opportunity. He turned heel. No one expected it. Kind of a little bit exhausted, the whole Sami Zayn character. It was going nowhere. Same with Zack Ryder. So with that segment, I just played the audio for Ascension, Hype Bros, Breezango, and Benjamin and Gable came out. Or Gable and Benjamin. Or Chad and Shelton. Whatever you're calling them, it's fine. Crowd loved the fact Breezango came out. Well, granted, they were promised a Pulp Fiction fashion show, Fashion Files. That did not happen. But Shelton and Gable, they go over. That's fine. Excited for that. Good wrestlers. They're going to elevate the Usos. Curious where New Day goes. I'm sure they'll continue to wrestle even though they're banged up. They're literally banged up. Had a little backstage rumblings with the females. That's where all the females hang out. Have you noticed that? Always backstage. It's the same storyline. And they all talk about each other or they talk about one person. This time it was Charlotte. Charlotte comes in. Natty's talking trash. Charlotte beats her up. And Tamina and Carmella and Lana, they attack Charlotte. And, of course, Becky and Naomi show up to help out. God, it was an underwhelming SmackDown. And if you're just tuning into the show right now, it was headlined, of course, by Kevin Owens with an unbelievable promo. I also got to mention that I love Harper. I love Rowan. But having said that, I don't know what direction they're going in. I'm going to play the audio from last night's SmackDown. Now, it doesn't do it justice, but they've repackaged them, and this is the message they're sending last night. Kind of creepy, but also a little goofy. Take a listen.
There is no conscience.
There's no moral compass.
The virtuous will fall.
The wicked will rise.
Broken bones.
Severed spines.
Harper.
Rowan.
Bludgeon Brothers.
Bludgeon Brothers. That's the new gimmick. Okay. It seems like they have like a medieval Thor hammer to them. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm not going to judge. Crazier things have gone over. So that should be interesting to say the least. I'm just happy they're back. I think they're extremely talented. But Okay, this is the direction they're going in, and we got to give them a chance. The right thing to do. I've mentioned many times I'm a huge fan of Dolph Ziggler. I am a very big fan of Bobby Roode. This is my guilty pleasure match going into Hell in a Cell, and it disappointed me severely. So let's go ahead and take a listen. And Bobby Roode kind of has a Roman promo moment. I kind of feel bad for him.
It was absolutely glorious. That was, of course, until 2 seconds after my victory when Dolph Ziggler decided to attack me from behind. So Dolph, if you want to fight, let's fight.
It's nice for Dolph to get a reaction again. It's been a while. We don't need the scratching. That's the one thing. Utterly stupid.
Here I am again for you, Bobby. How cool was that, man? You finally had your very first WWE pay-per-view match at Hell in a Cell. Congrats, kid. Congrats. You looked like $1 million. You strutted down this aisle. The entire WWE universe sang along with you. You stepped through those ropes. And then the bell rang. And I, Dolph Ziggler, the greatest in-ring performer in WWE history, exposed you for what you are, a fraud. I dominated you from the moment you stepped foot in the ring. I was the better wrestler. I was the better man, and everybody knew it, and you panicked. You panicked because you realized this elaborate lie that you'd construed was unraveling right before you. You realized that these sheep who blindly follow you could be gone in an instant, and your whole world would come crumbling down, and you panicked, and you did the only thing you could do to beat me. Don't believe me? Take a look, brother.
So obviously he shows him a photo right now, rolling up the tights and holding on to the tights, which of course is illegal. It's illegal.
Yeah. No, my iCloud didn't get hacked. That's you. That's you. See, I was wrong about you, Bobby. You're not just a flashy entrance. You're also a cheater.
No, Dolph. The only thing I did was prove that I was smarter than you.
Smarter than me? I'm the smartest man alive. And most importantly, I'm the greatest in-ring performer in WWE history. I have proved it for years. I proved it Sunday.
First of all, I'm loving this promo. I love the reaction from the crowd. And this is where Bobby Roode has his Roman moment.
I want my rematch.
Well, it's blatantly obvious to me that, well, you don't accept losing very well, do you, Dolph?
No.
You see, Dolph, if you want your rematch, you got it.
Excellent. Anytime, any place, you name it.
You see, it's not gonna go, it's gonna go exactly the way the first match went. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, so
this gets a little weird.
go exactly like that, so you won't have a chance in hell of beating me, right? Perfect. Perfect.
You know what, Dolph? I think I can speak for everyone in this arena when I say I'm sick and tired of you talking. Yeah.
Okay, good bounce back by Bobby Roode. That was nice.
Whining and complaining for this week. Why don't you make your way down into this ring and we have our little rematch right now?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, you want a rematch now?
Okay, so this promo work is over, and then, of course, Dolph teases that he's going to come down there. It's actually what Alexa Bliss did a little bit of last night. If you're just joining us on the program, this entire thing was highlighted, without a doubt, by Kevin Owens. It was phenomenal. When this goes on to demand, listen to the beginning. Now, if you're listening now on demand, you probably already heard it. That was my highlight of SmackDown. Other than that, storylines really didn't evolve much. We know that it's probably going to be a ceasefire now between New Day and the Usos, and now we have more contention inside and in a different direction. I'm sure that the tag division is going to be going to, kind of spicing things up. We saw Rowan and Harper, and they're going to obviously be at it. I'm still curious about the fate of possibly Ryder and Mojo. I'm not really going to lose sleep over it, don't get me wrong. But we'll see. See how that goes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's actually been a pretty decent show. We talked a lot. I want to thank Coder. Brent Coder, follow him at CodeRock874. I want to thank everybody. It's been a long 3 days. I want to thank everybody at Broadcast Row, the network that provides this program. I want to thank everybody at the Wrestling Morning Show. We do this, of course, every Tuesday, Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Also, the number 844-627-3352. You guys have any questions, comments, concerns? Of course, leave a message. Shoot us a text. That's why that number's there. This is Mardel. You can follow me at Mardel Brennan on Twitter. I want to thank everybody I met online, as we're always tweeting live during major events. Got a lot more wrestling to come this week and next week. And a lot more things to talk about. Thank you for joining the momentum that this show is creating. It really means a lot. We're not even at 6 months yet. Next month, we'll have a nice little anniversary show, maybe. Thank you, everybody in the world that is listening. All right, be good.